The mob is the most deadly of all critics in that it thinks critically only towards critical thinkers. They had set forth to rid their town of evil and had managed to rid it of pleasures as well. Everyone loves a good witch hunt as long as it's someone else's witch being hunted. That is the essence of a witch hunt. That any questioning of the evidence or the procedures in itself constitutes proof of complicity. We have become a society of witch hunters. And the only thing worse than believing in a witch is believing in a witch smeller. That's someone with no tangible evidence somehow has been endowed by some unknown force with the ability to determine innocence or guilt. I've heard people in the last few days say, well, this person acts like they're guilty. This person looks like they're guilty. This person is a PDF file. Do you have any evidence of that? Well, no. Give me the proof, and I will join you in condemning this person and screaming of their guilt at the top of my lungs. But whenever you ask for proof during a witch hunt, the only proof can only come after the person has been punished. If you remember the witch trials of old, they would take a sack full of rocks or chain the supposed witch, the accused witch, to a heavy weight, and they would drop him or her in a body of water, and they would say, if he floats to the top, he or she floats to the top, they're a witch. But if they stay down under and drown to death, then I guess they're innocent. There is so much danger in the way our world is going. I find it that people are avoiding the good faith conversations and the conversations that require critical thinking as an entry fee. Today, I had a friend. She made a post. She said that Donald J. Trump is a PDF file. And I didn't condemn my friend. She's a very sweet woman. But I had to inquire and ask her a very simple question. Do you have any proof? I said, provide for me the proof. And not only will I share this post, I'll even go live tonight condemning Donald Trump for his interaction, his immoral interactions with underage children. Well, as you may have suspected, I never got any proof. And so I wondered, how did you come to the conclusion that this was true with absolutely no evidence? And it went a little something like this. Donald Trump is a PDF file. I said, yeesh, you're going to be saying I'm a PDF file next when I blow up? No proof needed. She said, are you also on the files? I said, I mean, damn, all of us are. Me, you, and everybody else. If no proof is needed, then we are all guilty before we are even accused. She said, respectfully, is there like a brainwashing iced tea they give out when you first think you like Trump? Because you are not the only MAGA in my DMs that is like defending him. Why isn't there proof? Because he won't release the files. If there's a Democrat on there, guess what? They need to go to jail just like Trump. I do not care if Mother Teresa herself jumped on a plane with Epstein jail. I don't know what she meant by that. I made a very simple statement. I said, I'm not defending him. I'm appealing to your common sense. You cannot say someone is a PDF file if you have no proof of them committing acts with a minor. If you provide proof to me right here, I will post it and immediately call for Trump's impeachment, resignation, and imprisonment. You and I both know you have no proof. So why keep saying it? What is a person who continues to say something or perpetuate something that they have no proof of being true? Whatever it is, don't be that. Throughout history, millions and millions of deaths have been attributed to exactly this. Hitler said, if you tell a lie long enough, eventually it becomes the truth. Now, he didn't actually say that, but that is something that he alluded to in his book, Mein Kampf. Yet, they operate like Hitler, but everybody else is Hitler. She said, wait, who's dying? I said, just give me the proof. Then I will apologize, post it, and live stream about it tonight. I said, lots of people died because of things like this. I said, I think you're really great, but this tarnishes you a bit. She said, we can't prove it because the Republicans won't release the files, and if he didn't harm kids, then there's nothing to report. But you're already saying he did it. You're not going to apologize because liberals don't believe in apologies. They are the most virtuous of everyone. Everyone else is a criminal, immoral, PDFI, all that. And everyone is guilty until proven innocent except for them. But can I tell you something that absolutely destroys my faith in humanity? This same person voted Democrat in California. And wouldn't you know that the Democrats are the ones who are blocking bills that would punish people who buy underage children for sex? But she's going to take Trump to task about alleged pedophilia that she has no proof that was ever committed. So you vote for people who defend monsters and predators, and you hand them power and more power. Vote Prop 50. But all of a sudden, your moral compass gets all stirred up and your spirit gets all uncomfortable because Trump might have done something. So you prosecute what you don't know may have happened or could have possibly happened, but you don't know if it happened. But you have no smoke for what is actually happening. Right here in this article, the California Globe, California Senate Democrats reject bill to make purchasing a child for X a felony. You know who she voted for in every single election since she was born and since she could vote? These people who rejected the bill to make purchasing a child for X a felony. But I'll tell you one thing, though. As long as the name on that docket ain't Donald J. Trump, she couldn't care less what they do. These people will accept any type of immorality if they like you. But if they don't like you, you will be condemned in the court of public opinion, whether you are guilty or innocent. And they will punish you first, never ask questions. And then if later on they find out that you really did do it, they'll probably say they probably did something, but we just didn't catch them. But what about the Innocence Project? The same people who push for the release of bloodthirsty criminals on lack of evidence or DNA evidence, they are steadily engaging in the same practices that they claim to be fighting against, but they're just doing it to people who have never even been associated with anything of the sort. They said Trump did something at Epstein Island. The woman said he didn't do it. All of a sudden, he's a PDF file. It must have been a kid. Where are the kids? The kids would be adults by now. Where are the kids? But when all these children who were trafficked came up missing throughout America under Biden, they didn't care. And they never cared because they don't care about doing what's right. They only care about weaponizing anything they can against anyone who does not agree with them on everything. I'm still waiting on this girl to send me the proof. We don't have the proof because the Republicans won't release the Epstein files. Well, I thought it was a Democrat judge who was appointed by Barack Obama who's blocking the release of the Epstein files. This is all I'm saying. It's a Democrat judge appointed by Obama blocking the release of the Epstein files. Every Republican and Democrat knows exactly what is in the Epstein files. We know the Republicans and Democrats hate Donald Trump, both sides. We know they didn't want him elected to president because he's a political outsider. Donald Trump is the most investigated president or human being probably in the history of this world. But they didn't find, but they don't want to, they leaked and exposed and whistle blew everything else. They even invented the Steele dossier, but they won't let a little bit of Trump crime leak from the Epstein files or the flight list. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. The victims are saying Trump never did anything to me. Ghislaine Maxwell and Ransom made us have sex with Prince Andrew and other prime ministers from around the world. Nobody's calling for the head of Prince Andrew. It's crazy to me how the people who did nothing, according to the victims, they're the ones who are being hunted the most, while the people who the victims said did something, they're getting off scot-free. This is what we know from what Virginia Giuffre said. Bill Clinton and Donald Trump never touched me. I never even met him. So why are they now? And so what they do, because the victim, so first they buried her story, her testimony. And then they said, well, maybe Trump witnessed something happening and didn't report it. And that's why you got your panties all in a bunch right now. They playing you like a fool, like a fiddle. Trump this, Trump that, Trump this, Trump. Like, bruh, as much as this man is hated, as much money as people stand again, because we know that's what rules the day. Don't you think if he did something, it would have come out by now? They got Harvey Weinstein, but they're not going to go for Trump. They got Bill Cosby, America's dad, but they're not going to go for Trump, someone that everyone hates. Guys, it doesn't add up. You literally have to just put your brain in your sock to believe this stuff. And the worst part about it is it takes you away from living your own life and focusing on the things you need to do to make sure that you are in a position to protect yourself and your children from being victimized by some type of predator. They condemn Trump and call him a predator unjustly while electing predators to public office. The same Democrats that blocked the bill that would criminalize buying minors for sex, they just handed those Democrats the mayorship of New York. They just handed those Democrats the governorship of Virginia. They just handed those Democrats the governorship of New Jersey. And they will continue to hand those same Democrats who we know, no matter what, will always toe the party line. So we know that whatever the Democrats in California did, we know the DNC that funds them approved of it. The same Democrats who decriminalized pedophilia in certain cities around California, the same Wiener guy who's a senator from California who passed all these laws, who authored all these bills that made it harder to convict people for doing deplorable things to minor children, they're reelecting these people. And they've not only reelected them, but they've passed Prop 50 to hand them even more power. I'm just asking a simple question. Are you against pedophilia? Or are you just against it based on who's doing it? Is it something that you despise and hate? Or is it just something that you arbitrarily weaponize against the people you don't like? I don't play those kind of games. I will go to war, fight, and die so that no one who plays those kind of games will ever be put in a position of power over me. If you're going to condemn him and show me the evidence. If you're going to crown him and shut the hell up. That's my only request. What I know for a fact is that the judge who is blocking the release of the Epstein files is a Obama appointed judge, and the other one is a Biden appointed judge. What I know for a fact is that if Trump's name appeared in those Epstein files on anything, flightless, anything, it would have for sure been leaked by now. But what I also know for a fact is there is not a single person on earth who could provide evidence to say that any of this is true. But just like the quote said that we read earlier, the mob, the body, the hordes of mindless miscreants is the most deadly of critics, in that it thinks critically only towards critical thinkers. If I get up here and appeal to your common sense, right? You will reason in your mind. You will use your powers of critical thinking to say, man, he just a F-boy. He just a shield for Trump. See, because look, why would he defend your critical thinking now? But when the Democrats play you like a fool, your ability to critical think is totally lost to you. And you're just sitting in there absorbing. What does Les Brown say? He says, if you don't program yourself, somebody will program you. I program myself to call it like I see it and stand up for the truth. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I can always come back and apologize and get it right. You program yourself to just suck up everything that you agree with and believe it without questioning it or researching it. And then when it's proven wrong, you just move on to the next witch hunt. The same people who do that can't never seem to see the guilt in their own kids when they shooting up the neighborhood and robbing everybody. It's totally selective. You critically think when you want to, when you believe it'll benefit you. And then you then you turn your mind off when you think that will benefit you. Tonight I have an offer. Listen, $1,000. $1,000 tonight on the table. Anybody come up here and give me proof that Donald Trump did anything on Epstein Island. $1,000. And before you give me the proof, right? And it's a call-in show. So guys, there's a lot of people, they all can sit at home, eat a bowl of cereal, and solve unsolved mysteries in front of the TV, but they can't figure out how to click that link so they could come up here and give their opinion. I get 10, 15 messages after the show. How do I call up? Bro, you over here solving cold cases, but can't figure out how to click that link so you could come up. Ace Boy, Hawada. See, we still slow tonight. Is not KKK King Trump in control over list release? No, Congress is in control over list release, and they've been blocked from releasing it by a federal judge. Now wipe your damn feet for being dumb. You stepped in some doo-doo outside, don't track it in the house. And the doo-doo is your brain. See, that man doesn't possess the ability to critically think. And he has a phone in his pocket, right in his pocket, probably costs about $1,500, but he won't use it worth a damn so he can find out the truth about stuff before he makes himself look like an absolute idiot. That man is a slave, a mental slave, still living on the plantation. The gate is open, but the ghetto bird refuses to leave the cage. I'll be the daddy you never had. Son, please use your ability to critically think. Please use the education and the ability, the literacy that the white man blessed you with when he didn't have to. Please, if the white man ain't do nothing else, he gave you the ability to read letters on a page and understand what they meant. I'm just keeping it real. This is when keeping it real goes wrong. Everyone's smart, but no one does the work. And as the old saying goes, work works. Please don't allow people to weaponize your ignorance against their enemies. I got $1,000. And I know y'all need $1,000. It's about Christmas time, ain't it? Santa got to come down the chimney, and you live in the projects with no chimney, so he got to sneak through the back window, don't he? You need that money. Your girlfriend want to go get her nails did, and your kids is tired of their shoes talking to them when they walking. Get up here, daddy. Detective Columbo. Get up here, Alex Cross. Get up here, Blaguyver. You can solve it. What's that lady's name on the Murder, She Wrote? Matlock. All them shows your granny used to watch. But you showing that you ain't got the sense that a dog got. Because even a dog don't go looking for a bone that ain't there. Man, I'm telling you, man, these people are brainwashed. They've allowed this society to turn them into a bunch of unwitting accomplices because they're listening to people who get paid to lie to them. I don't care if it's a Republican or a Democrat. I ain't believing nothing you say unless you show me proof. You know why I know God exists? Because I ain't never seen a monkey turn into a man and start walking around and talking, walking on two legs and talking. So until I see that, evolution will remain a theory in my mind. You have no proof. That's the way black people used to think. Now we just a bunch of toothless dogs barking at everybody who walk past. See the mailman every damn day and still barking at him. This is where we are right now. Now this fool done sat up there and made himself look stupid. Now in the comments quoting Bible scriptures. Yeah, you need to go to church. Pray to the Lord to give you wisdom. The Bible says that God hates those who bears false witness. Go look up that scripture. Preacher, pastor. The Bible said, it didn't say God don't like them. It said he hates them. And the Bible says that I must hate what God hates, so I hate you too. That's some scriptures for your ass and some reasoning on those scriptures. Put that in your pocket. Take it to work and tell them you quit. Because you just got all the wisdom you need. That's all I'm saying. I'm not the smartest man in the world, but I will run laps around a hypocritical idiot. It's easy. They're not even running. They not their brain isn't even on. They are the walking dead, literally. They're brain dead. And as soon as you let them get their way and give them what they claim they want, all they're going to do is turn on each other and start fighting over it. We know how this goes. We lived in our community how long? That's why they got to try to take what everybody else worked for, because they're not willing to do the work. They're not willing to do the work. Like I said last night, they want to take everything you got, but they're not going to get it. If they can't get it to you by slandering you and having the government take it from you, they're gonna come try to take it from you by force, like a bunch of marauding bandits. And that's what they are now. They're a bunch of intellectual bandits. They get a hold to one thought, whether it's true or not, and they run around trying to stab everybody with it because they feel like it's effective and that it's irrefutable. That's not the way this works. That's not the way any of this works. I can get up here and talk off the top of my head for an hour and a half. Boy, you can't even string a sentence together. And I know you can't, because last election, you voted for a woman who couldn't string a sentence together and just made yourself believe that she was qualified to rule over you. We know what happens if you get control. That's why we'll be willing to cut your damn hands off before we let you take the wheel. Look at this idiot. When was America great? See, it's just a bunch of defaults to old slogans. America was great before and it's great now. That's why you don't want to go nowhere else. Because only in America could someone as dumb as you survive. Let's just keep it a buck. And I'm not calling the audience dumb. I'm just saying, dude, this guy is out here, man. This guy's just out here. He just talking. Let me stop talking to the audience. Let me stop talking to the comments. If you don't like it, leave. If you don't like it, leave. Bring the, hey, and let me tell you something. The link is in the comments. And that's what we do on this channel. We call it out. We take all the smart guys from the internet who roll around trying to argue with people all day on the internet. And we say, well, get up, man. Here go the soapbox, brother. You got something you want to say, kinfolk. Go ahead and let them know. They'll never come up because they don't even believe the stuff that they're saying. They don't even believe the stuff that they're saying. They don't care about nothing but what these folks tell them to care about. They don't care about nothing but what these folks tell them to care about. And then say, yeah, I think for myself. No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. You go get your orders from CNN every morning and you run the streets and go repeat it to whoever will listen. It's just bad. And they lie straight to your face. They got no respect for you. They have no respect for you. At least I respect you enough to tell the truth. Hold on. So now what they're actually saying is that this is what's going on with the new accusations with the Epstein's file. Now they're saying that the president watched someone get essayed and never said anything. How do you know what the president saw? Were you there? Were you there? You saw your mama smoke crack in your bathroom. Never mentioned it. All of a sudden now you know for a fact what Donald Trump was doing. That's the part that kills me the most. That's the part that kills me the most. Somebody gave the perfect mindless robots. Mindless robots. Listening to a social media clip and trying to make up a whole a whole story and case and conviction in their mind off of that. But I want to play you this clip. So I already had this ready. So here we go. This is CNN. This is Abby Phillips' show. I don't even know what it's called. I just know her name. Okay. So we're going to start right here, and then it's going to restart.
Funding to Democrats, which she was not. But go ahead. Maybe
get this and say, we want all of these files released because you are behaving like a person who's guilty.
Ben?
I wish you guys gave this much thought and much obsession over this.
Ben Ferguson cooked these people. This idiot next to him, you're behaving like someone's who's guilty. And Ben Ferguson just came out with the absolute facts, bro. You guys got all this smoke. But when it was the Democrats the Democrats are still keeping it sealed, you didn't care.
When Joe Biden was president, I wish you were asking for this much transparency when it wasn't about attacking the president of the United States of America and to score political points. I wish you guys cared about the victims as much as you care about trying to attack Donald Trump. When CNN's own reporting says, and I quote, the woman who is the survivor literally accused Democrats, not Republicans, of hiding her name because she had not alleged Trump to have done anything wrong.
You're talking about Virginia Giuffre.
Correct.
Okay, so Virginia Giuffre, who is the victim, right? This is the person they saying Trump did something to. She said, when I would not name Trump as one of the people who violated me, the Democrats just buried my whole story. They said, I only need justice if Donald Trump did it, because it was always just a mission to get Trump. That's it. Now, they got this woman there. She the victim. She's the victim. And they can't get it out of her because it never happened. But you're going to say, yeah, but the Epstein file said you're just a blind, you're a deaf, dumb, and blind hunting dog that then lost his senses. You just running around in the dark howling that stuff. The victim said, he never did anything to me. Let's keep on playing it because I want to show you how they deflect.
Just talked about
and my point is,
she died by, just to be clear, she died by suicide.
But
so that was
why does her dying by suicide have to do with anything? Because when the mind is weak, soon as you hear suicide, your brain is going to click off. There was a movie called Memento back in the day. I don't know if you ever watched it, but the guy had like memory loss, short-term memory loss. So like bro would remember something, but like say a door would slam, or somebody would snap their fingers, he would instantly forget. That's how the mind of ignorant people work. You be locked in. Soon as you hear a buzzword, boom, you totally forgot what you just heard. Yeah, they redacted her name.
She accused Democrats when she was alive, her words, of hiding her name because she had not alleged Trump to have done anything wrong. That is how sick and partisan this has become. You guys didn't care about the victims. You didn't care about anything else. And now you're saying, well, maybe Donald Trump knew of a crime and maybe didn't report it. That's just straight up slander and libel.
No, it's
not slandering and libels. They always got a sassy black man up there. No, it's not slander. That's exactly what it is. You have no evidence and no proof of Trump doing anything, but you're still continue to insinuate that he did something. And this is not even me trying to defend Donald Trump. This is me just defending everybody who's ever been caught up in some crap like this, where a mob is trying to engage in a witch hunt to find you guilty at all costs. But the Pookies and the Ray Rays and in the Glocktavius and the Daquans up in the hood, shooting up the neighborhood, breaking up in people's houses, they can never find no snitching. That means you're getting used. You go against something that you claim to believe in whenever someone comes and tells you to do it, because why? You're just programmed to obey those people. And when I call you out, you get mad at me. I'm wrong.
Sorry,
you just said that the president
I let you finish.
Watch the crime.
You turn that glove.
Can I just clear one thing up, because I think this is important. I don't want this misinformation to be out there. When Virginia Giuffre said that Trump had not done anything wrong. She was not accusing, the Republicans accused Democrats of withholding her name for that reason. She just separately said that she did not see Trump do anything untoward. That's
the
right. Who gives a damn? She said that Trump did not do anything wrong. That's the point. Why? But she's gonna spin because she know your attention span is 3 seconds. You listen to all that where they all admit that this woman said Trump didn't do anything to her, and you'll still run and jump on Instagram. Yeah, Trump did this and this, and wait, free up those files. We'll free them up. But let me tell you, this is not the only source. But I gotta let Ben Ferguson get his last point off.
And so I go back to the point he made, which is that he said,
because I don't want people to think that it was that she was
Exactly.
responding to Democrats, which she was not. But go ahead. Maybe
Get this and say we want all of these files released.
Nah, I don't care about the files. Because at this point, I already know it's Democrats and Republicans on the file. And people say, well, Trump doesn't want the files released. Trump wants the Republicans to win. He's a Republican president. And he knows, let me tell you what he knows. Trump knows that Republicans will actually withhold their vote from people who are pedophiles. Democrats will continue to vote for people who are PDF files. They don't care. I'm living in California where I watch a bunch of people who claim to be virtuous and love the children and all this stuff defend and protect PDF files every single day. I know Democrats don't care about children. If you spank your kid, they're taking your kid away to go be molested in some group home. They don't give a damn what happened once they clock off. I know Democrats don't care about children. They're literally making this this is a sanctuary state for your kid under in the midst of an identity disorder to come, right, get kidnapped by their teacher, come over here, get their genitals mutilated, and then imprison you if you don't affirm that nonsense. You don't care about somebody if you do something like that, because you'll never see Gavin Newsom's kids doing that. You'll never see Barack Obama's kids doing that. I look at how they treat their own kids and whether they would permit that with their own kids. And the answer is no. So why is it good enough for my kid, but it's never good enough for your kid? And when you bring up their kids, that's crossing the line. No, it's not. You could speak on my kids all day. Let me ask you about your kids. Democrats do not care about children. Democrats care about corporate money. That is it. That is all. How much corporate dollars can we get to pretend like we are doing the job of administration of this country? But let me show you this. This is some more. This is another nail in the coffin. Let's go to ABC News right here. ABC News. January 9th, 2024. We still talking about this mess in damn near the end of 2025, but this was already proven on January 9th, 2024. Discredited claims about Clinton, Trump mentioned in latest batch of Epstein documents. Let's scroll on down because I read this. I did my research, obviously. Right here. In those messages, this lady right here, this is the lady, Sarah Ransom, right? She's one of the people who was on Epstein Island, but she was a predator. She was one of the people forcing the girls to do acts, right? Acts. You know, I don't want to say acts. In those messages, okay, here we go. Also included in Monday's document, unsealing, because they did unseal some of the documents, is an exhibit that contains emails sent by Ransom to a New York Post reporter in the fall of 2016. In those messages, Ransom made allegations that implicated former President Bill Clinton and Donald Trump, Prince Andrew, and Richard Branson. She also described alleged videotape evidence she claimed to possess that would back up her allegations, but said she could not provide it. Ransom subsequently told the New York Post reporter, who did not publish any story related to the allegations, that she wanted to retract everything I have said to you and walk away from this, according to an unsealed message from October 2016. In 2019, the New Yorker reported that Ransom told the magazine that she had invented the claims of videotapes to draw attention to Epstein's behavior and to make him believe she had evidence that would come out if Epstein harmed her, according to the magazine. You're chasing shadows. A woman who says something, who lied, saying that she did it to protect herself from potential reprisal by Epstein. Now, let's read this part. Neither Clinton nor Trump nor Branson was accused by Giuffre of it or anyone else besides Ransom. Giuffre said that Ransom, the woman, made her sleep with some prime minister from another country. Neither Clinton nor Trump nor Branson was accused by Giuffre of or anyone else besides Ransom of any wrongdoing in the course of Giuffre's defamation lawsuit against Ghislaine Maxwell. Clinton also denied any knowledge of Epstein's crimes. Trump has said he cut off contact with Epstein many years ago. A Branson spokesperson on Tuesday cited to the 2019 New Yorker article and said the Virgin Group has confirmed that the claim in question is false, baseless, and unfounded. Prince Andrew has long denied allegations that he had sex with Giuffre on 3 occasions, as she has claimed in court recordings and interviews, and claimed he could not recall ever meeting Giuffre. The prince in 2022 settled a lawsuit Giuffre filed against him. Prince Andrew is the one you should be going after, but the TV said you got to go after Trump, so you know we's got to do that. He's settling out of court with this chick. So clearly, it's kind of seeming like he did something. It's not like he could go to jail or be extradited to the United States. He could have just said, I didn't do nothing to that hoe, and leave it at that. You just a toothless barking dog. They point this way and you go run over there. And then when someone critically thinks and asks you to do the same, that person is the enemy. I got the link in the comments. I'm still waiting for this evidence. I'm still waiting for all these freaking Columbuses to go show me some evidence of all this stuff that they're claiming has happened. The girl who I talked about earlier, I told her to come on. You think she didn't know? A bunch of keyboard detectives. And you have to call these people out because the things these people do influence other people. Agriculture Concepts, 100% right. Their evidence is TikTok. A bunch of TikTok detectives, huh? That's what they are. My evidence is TikTok in 60 minutes. I'm not saying that it's not possible that something did happen. I'm just saying you don't got no proof. You running around here acting like a damn crack baby. And then wonder why we don't invite you nowhere. And especially because I'm a man and I've seen men fall victim to this crap time and time again. I always approach this with a very I always tread lightly when it comes to these allegations. Because we live in a world where a woman can make up a lie, destroy a man's life, and be like, oh, my bad. Patrick Smith, 100% right. When does accountability kick in for the constant lying? It's never going to kick in because it can always be weaponized against a political opponent. It can always be weaponized against somebody who got a job promotion that you don't like. Oh, I'm going to send little Sally Sue in there to say, bro, touched her. Now he gone. Now I get the job. Who wants to live in a world like that? I don't. This information is available to everyone. How does Columbo and MacGyver miss it. Your son is out flocking houses today, tonight, right now. You're pretending you don't know it, but you do. But you got your nose all up Trump butt. Oh, and then you guys will say, oh, I don't know. You never criticized Trump. I have plenty of criticisms of Trump. But I'm not going to lie and slander anyone. I don't care if they're rich. I don't care if they're poor. No one deserves that. I've had people try to lie on me. I know how that made me feel. And I would never want to be party to something like that, someone doing that to somebody else. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. Let me ask you a question. When you get rid of Trump, let's say the lies would have worked and you would have succeeded in getting rid of Trump. What was you going to do when Kamala Harris let 40 million more illegal criminal alien rapists into this country? What was you going to do? Nothing. Nothing. What was you going to do when they took over more apartment buildings in your neighborhood? You were going to do nothing. Old Block wasn't going to come save you. You were going to do nothing but get hoed. When a bigger fish, bigger dog than you, who was willing and ready to kill, walked onto the block. Trende Aragua, MS-13, in the like. You don't even got a plan. You just burning the damn house down. You like a person who quit your damn job before you find another one. Be better. That's all I'm at. Be better. Use the power of critical thinking that God gave you. I asked my daughter, I said, did you guys have to read the book, The Crucible, in middle school or high school? She said, no, they didn't make us read that. I'm telling you, when we were younger, they made us read The Crucible. So you can see how witch hunts and stuff turn out. And they made us like study McCarthyism and all that stuff so you can understand why it is very bad to make up slanderous lies against your neighbors, right? You know why they don't talk about that no more? Because they want the people, they want the kids graduating from school without that type of knowledge. They need them to repeat the mistakes of the past because that's how they get power. The only way you can gain power if you have nothing but bad ideas that are proven not to work is if you demonize the other guy. If you make them afraid of what the other guy might do. That's the Democrat strategy. That is the Democrat strategy. That is their plan for the future. Let's just keep scaring them away from voting for the other guy. That's why when it comes up, guess what? It's a bunch of finger pointing. That's all Democrats do. That's why Zohran Mamdani won the mayorship of New York because he was running against a fake independent who was a Democrat, Cuomo, and all Democrats can do is try to fearmonger you away from voting for the other guy, and it didn't work. You got people talking about, oh, the Jews is taking over. Dude, 37% of Jewish people in New York voted for Mamdani, who people were saying was an anti-Semite. Nothing is the way these people try to make it out to be. Most Americans care about America. Most Jewish Americans care about, and Jew is just a religion, but most Jewish Americans care about America. I met a lady at the bookshop down the street. She was Jewish. She said, I don't believe in Zionism. I don't even think there should be a Jewish state. There should just be a state with freedom of religion where the government is run by, it's a secular government. These people don't even talk to other people. Their only constant companion is the internet and their phone. They don't know what's going on in the real world. I don't like Zohran Mamdani, but he was democratically elected. If that's what the people in New York think is best for them, let them have it. And maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't, but it won't. But let's just hope it works for them. If he pulls it off, I'll be surprised. I'll say, you know what? I was wrong. Zoran went ahead and did it. But something tells me that Zoran is going to become very capitalistic and very conservative very fast. I think he's a guy who saw an angle to get in and he used it. That's it. But that's what you need to learn how to do. Find an angle and exploit it. But the angle of idiocy is it's all used up. No one respects that. Your kid, listen, man, do you know how many kids are walking around and have no respect for their parents? You know how dumb you look to your kid when you tell your kid, yeah, wait till they open up the Epstein file, and your kid then looked on Google and everything else, and it's like this is basically a nothing burger. Your kid is looking at you like you're just an immature human being. My mama and daddy ain't got no damn sense. They just out here following along. Imagine how your child's heart break when they realize their mama and daddy just follow along with whatever is said by a damn TV. That's why they don't respect you. That's why they talk to you crazy and don't want you coming nowhere with them. They're like, you're a sheep. And it makes them feel unsafe. And so then they go out and find leadership for themselves that's out there just to prey. Predatory leadership. I don't even know how a son could respect his daddy looking at his daddy act like a hoe just following behind the Democrats. I remember when one of my family members told me, yeah, we vote Democrat no matter what. I said, I know Auntie who kicked her son out when he said he was gay. Kicked him out, abandoned him to the streets. He ended up being a dope fiend and died. I know that auntie who said, I just pray for him. I don't let him in my house. I know that auntie ain't sitting up while they got a gay dude running a choir at her church now. You condemned your child for something that you went ahead and accepted just because the white Democrat woman told you to. We was out here living and dying based on this bull crap. And now, look how we just let it go. We give it away now. We got no backbone. We don't stand on nothing. Anything they say. If the Democrats said, damn, man, we going to get into child sacrifice, your mama and them going to go right along with it. They already going along with it. It's called abortion. Yeah, you don't like the Republicans, but at least the black conservatives ain't letting no political party make a fool out of us. And I got 1,000 right now tonight on that. It's so sick. It's so sick. You know who's telling you the truth. You know who's lying to you. Because every time somebody says something, you jump on the Google and check it. Or at least I hope you do. But you don't check it when it's what you want to believe. It's the same thing I told those dudes over at No Jumper. You guys hate the truth so much, you'll just listen to anybody as long as they're telling you what you want to hear. That is the path to destruction. That's how it all falls apart. We got my boy P Sizzle in the building. P Sizzle.
Hey, Brandon, how's it going?
Man, I'm just cooking. I'm up here like an old fat black preacher sweating down the back of my neck to my ass crack.
You're not fat, especially compared to Flacco. You at least work out. I don't even think Flacco works out.
Hey, Flacco's skinny now, I think. He looking like he got surgery.
He's like getting liposuction, Ozempic pills, or whatever shit he's on. Like, I don't know. But I just want to actually chime in, and I know this is going to be a little odd, but I actually disagree with the Epstein stuff, just because I personally think the only reason he put Pam Bondi and Kash Patel was just because they're so horrible at their jobs that they're just going to push this under the rug. And even if you look at Trump's connections, he was like a judge for Miss America USA. Had a lot of access to these supermodels.
He owned it.
And yeah, and plenty of these supermodels ended up going to Epstein's island. They ended up like pretty much getting pimped out by him.
So
the only
so
thing
you
that's
think these
going
people
for
are so you think those supermodels will stay silent for Trump?
it's not even saying silent for Trump. I just don't think they want to like get killed by like a lot of rich men colluding to put an end to their lives. And I think that's the reason why it's like it's not a Republican or Democrat issue. Like it's really just protecting young girls from horrible people. And I think that's the reason why too. Like he's going hard against like Bill Clinton, J.P. Morgan. I saw some other name too. But they're not the only ones that are engaging in child sex crimes. Like it's not a one party thing. Like I'm sure if Bill Clinton, and like the other Democrats engaged in it, I'm sure there are Republicans too that have done it. Just because like some of these dudes are old geezers that don't have any game, and are unhappy in their marriages. So like I'm sure like if a woman was offered to them by some rich Jewish guy, down in Florida, they will go take the flight and hop on the Lolita Express or whatever it's called. But I think that's the reason why. Again, like everything I'm saying is like circumstantial. There's not that much hard evidence. But it's logically it makes sense to me that like it's definitely not a one party thing. And I think Trump's doing his best to like divert the focus away from him and putting it towards the Democrats and Democrat billionaires, when in reality there's more Republican billionaires out there that have probably done just as horrible stuff as the Democrats have done. Like the name that comes up a lot is Les Wexner. He's the guy that created LLB brands, I believe, with the backpacks and everything. But that guy's the one that financed Jeffrey Epstein's investment fund. And you go look into Jeffrey Epstein's background. The guy never graduated college, never worked on Wall Street before in his life. And he automatically gets like hundreds of millions of dollars to go put into stocks. And I just look at all of that and it just makes me think like this dude definitely had blackmail tapes on Republicans and Democrats. And that's the only reason why they kept him alive for so long. And I really don't think it's a Trump thing, just because it's bigger than just him. When you
Do
put
you
together,
think Trump is in the Epstein files? I don't really think he's in it. I think people like that he knows, or members of the party are in it, and Trump is like, I'm not trying to see these Democrats get the election, so I'm gonna just keep it sealed.
I personally think he's definitely not as retarded as like Bill Gates or Jeffrey Epstein, where he's like on the flight logs, and like the correspondent specifically says this woman for him, this woman for that. Like I don't think it's like red-handed like that in Epstein emails, but I'm sure like he's being referenced by him. Like even this morning I saw some stuff where Epstein's texting one of his friends, that in the files that got released today. And
let me get this comment. Let me get this. Black men have no clue what white men in power truly do sexually. You are men, just ask a woman. Listen, ignoramus, there's every genre of porn under the sun that you can watch on the internet. You can only do so many things sexually, right?
And it's not a black or white men thing, because
it's stupid.
Diddy did the same horrible stuff, and like and it's swept under the rug right now.
Listen, women like this worship white men. So they think when white men get in the room, they all start levitating and lightning bolts start coming out of their dicks or something like that. Bro, they're doing perverse sadomasochistic shit. They're doing bondage and all this. You got air. They're doing bondage and all this type of stuff. We know what they're doing. Have you ever watched freaking Faces of Death? Do y'all even remember those tapes, bro? Like, we know what they're doing. But you know what I do know as well? I know what women are willing to do for money. Let dudes stick 3 penises in a butthole. So I have to tread lightly when it comes to the victimhood part. Nah, I didn't see some chicks do some crazy stuff. Stick a whole elbow in their butt for some money. So then I say, were they really being forced when they were in a room full of billionaires who could write them a check to change their life? That's what I think. You're just mad because I'm not on some believe all women stuff. I'm not going to ever be on that. I don't believe all anybody. I use my power to critically think. And I say, Jeffrey Harvey Weinstein was rich as hell. They got his ass. Bill Cosby was rich as hell. They got his ass. So you're going to tell me they got those mega rich dudes, but then they're going to hold off on these other mega rich dudes. What you mean? They love getting these dudes because they divide up their stuff. And everybody gets a cut. But the point is, did the president of the United States abuse some women on Epstein Island? And what I'm telling you is, as much as this dude is hated, if he had done anything, they would have made a special provision. Joe Biden would have released just that part, because even Trump has released certain parts of the Epstein files. So we know the president can release certain parts. So why didn't Biden just release the part that incriminated Trump and leave it at that? Just use your power of critical thinking. Now, do I think Trump might be protecting somebody on there? Very possible. That's probably what it is. It might just be political. But I'm telling you, whether I see it or not, it ain't going to make me lose no sleep. I got to get paid and take care of my family. What are you doing? What are you doing, or what do you have sealed up to where you can invest so heavily into this? That's my question. Pieces of final thoughts. Then we got my boy Obstacles coming up.
Yep. I'll just put out a conspiracy theory out there. I personally think, and again, this is something I've been thinking a lot about the last month. I personally think Trump was installed by the state of Israel back in 2015, 2016, just so, like you were alluding to protect hundreds and hundreds of men in power, including himself as well. I think that's the reason why.
We've kind of touched on this. Israel wanted bunker busting bombs from Trump. If they were in control of our government, they would already have those things. They would be heavily, they would leave Israel and come live over here. Don't nobody want to go live in that damn desert. They don't care how holy it is.
They did give him $230 million for his campaign.
Yeah,
pretty much sold us
a lot
out.
Of money.
And he sold us out for their affairs. To fund
which ones? Tell me which affairs did he sell them out for?
All the military equipment, all the back and forth on Palestine, Israel.
Which military equipment?
If you just go back the last 3-4 months, the rhetoric has been all about pro-Israel instead of America first. That's the reason why you see a lot of dissent within the party, like Nick Fuentes and everyone else.
I get you. I know you've been listening because what I want to tell you is this. When you're the president of the United States, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. On one side, these bloodthirsty Negroes was talking about we need to intervene in the Gaza Strip, stop the slaughter of the Palestinians. So when Trump went and intervened, now Trump is a Zionist and he loves Israel. Trump went and talked to the people who he's allies with to get them to stop. That's what you do. If somebody fighting, you got to go to the person you know and say, hey, bro, chill. You can't go to the other side because they don't F with you like that. What people wanted was for the only thing that would have satisfied these people is for Trump to declare war on Israel. And that wasn't going to happen.
Well, the alternative is also just not funding wars in the Middle East and in Russia.
The wars will get funded no matter what.
But if he's really America first, let's protect our dollar, let's bring back manufacturing. I'm just not seeing any of that. It's been close to a year.
The guy is come on, P Sizzle.
I'm telling you, I'm as
you're letting
I'm as Republican as
you're letting no, it ain't about being Republican. You're letting Nick Fuentes and these people indoctrinate you, bro.
Not, I promise you, it's just he's like a lame duck president right now, and a lot of people in the party are like ready.
Trump
to get out of
passed.
office.
Wait a minute. Trump passed the big beautiful bill. You know that doesn't go into effect till next year. Trump been in office a year, and you like, hey, flip a switch and change the whole planet. Come on, you know that's ridiculous. You being kind of like you're not being realistic. That's why when the people in the audience start agreeing with you, you know you're just talking in a fantasy. Oh, he was supposed to get in 10 months. He was supposed to change the trajectory of everything. That's not how that worked. It took Biden 4 years to do this damage. You wasn't changing this in a year. They spent 6 months just trying to pass the big beautiful bill. Did they not?
And in that bill, our deficit got raised by $5 trillion.
Yeah, because it takes money to make money. You know that.
It also takes money to lose the value of your currency and to like screw the next generation.
And how much has your currency depreciated? Dollar's strong as hell right now.
A lot.
How much?
COVID,
Tell me how much.
Everything has doubled in the last 5
Now
years.
you're bringing up COVID.
It's COVID plus these like surplus
You
budgets.
just blamed it on Donald Trump.
I'm not blaming it on Trump. I'm saying it's Trump and
You
Biden.
literally said it's Donald Trump's. I don't understand.
Like, you can't pinpoint financial changes to one administration because it takes a while for these things to get baked in. And if you look back, trace back 5 years back,
when Trump left office, inflation was like under 3%, bro. And the Biden came, the Inflation Reduction Act, boom, 14%. Trump takes back over power and it's like, he's not doing it fast. So come on, man. That's not really, that's not realistic thinking.
That's true. I just don't think that's true. You look at the job losses, you look at
job losses. 1 million American jobs lost, right?
A lot of Americans' jobs lost.
How many American jobs lost?
I believe the last account was like close to 1.2 million.
Okay. How many American jobs are available?
That's not the question.
No, I'm asking a question to like we lost 1 million jobs. How many jobs are available where they need people to work them?
I'm sure there's a lot out there, but not
7 million. 7 million.
I don't know, Brandon.
No, you don't gotta know. Just look it up. Listen, you have the ability to look up information. Don't tell me you don't know.
But
when you look up a negative stat, you have to look up the other stats. Like, okay, we lost 1 million jobs, but how many jobs are there available? And you know the jobs are available because they're trying to bring in Indians and stuff to work the jobs.
And again, that's another thing that's like anti-America first, because he was bragging about at the H-1B visa.
How is it anti-America first when there's 7 million jobs available in America?
Because there's like tens of millions of white Americans, Chinese Americans, Indian Americans, Mexican Americans with a degree in computer science who are just as qualified as the H-1B workers, but Trump is not even giving them a shot at it, because I have a lot of friends.
Them a shot, or the companies are not giving them a shot. Trump don't hire nobody for no company.
Trump would give them a shot if he stood in the way of these H-1B workers coming from India and China. And like you and I both know that's true.
Right. And that's fine. But at the end of the day, we live under capitalism. People hire who they want to hire. But here's what I'm telling you. When people were voting Biden them in, who exponentially increased the number of HB1 visas, nobody said anything. As a matter of fact, people tried to put them back in office. So my question is, you don't like what Trump is doing, but the person who was going to get in besides Trump would have screwed you over way worse. And you're giving Trump 10 months to repair stuff that was done over the course of this stuff really been being done over 20 years, even under Obama. But Trump
is he really much worse than Biden if he's backtracking on all of his America First? The H-1B visas. I'm walking across, like I'm driving across my state. There's like no onshoring being done for manufacturing or logistics hubs at all.
What state do you live in?
North Carolina. And within North Carolina, the only deal we've been able to do the last 12 months has been a Toyota battery plant, and that's not because of Trump. That was because of our governor and them like looking at where our ports are, looking at where
Toyota battery plants. So Trump's tariffs didn't have nothing to do with that because they could have made those in Mexico.
Well, the plant was like approved under Biden's administration.
And Biden started adopting a lot of Trump's policies.
And another thing,
Biden even put some tariffs in, and shout out to him for that.
And like the other stuff too, the H-1B stuff, I think is a punching like the face of voters. Because none of the MAGA voters I know would even be down for him backtracking on H-1B. I think him threatening to fire the Federal Reserve is way out of order.
I think that
the 30-year mortgage is a horrible idea. The 50-year mortgage is a horrible idea because you don't pay off your interest until you're 30. No,
that's what I'm saying. That's subjective. That's a horrible idea.
Not, Brandon. That's a horrible. Listen,
Wait a minute, bro. You can say that's a bad idea for you.
No,
you
Brett,
I
study finance in college.
You could study until you blue in the face, but you don't know what someone else can do or what they're trying to do.
The only people that win in that scenario are the commercial lenders, not the homeowner.
Listen. Everything adjusts, bro. You operate based on like, oh, if this happens, this is set in stone and nothing else can happen. I remember when you would want to buy a couch, right? Or like a bedroom set. You had to have the money, walk in, and just buy it, right? If you didn't have the money, you wasn't getting no bed or no couch or nothing. And I got you obstacles. I see you. Okay. You just had to buy it. Then they introduced something called layaway. where you can come in and you can you can pay it off in increments. And then when people was like, damn, man, we need another option, they said, okay, we'll do rent a center. You can come in, take it out the store, you pay on it month to month, right? Then they put in, hey, you can come in, get it, and if you pay it off in 90 days, it's the same as if you pay it cash, and it takes away all the interest. Allow your home buying process to evolve. It's not going to evolve perfectly, but that's where the people come in to voice what we think, to attach good ideas to it, different caveats being made to make it more doable for the American people. What I'm thinking, because I'm thinking about solutions versus just complaining, I think they should do something like that. 30 days, 30 years. If you pay it off in 30 years, your interest rate is greatly reduced, right? And basically you would put interest tiers. For the first 15 years, this will be the interest rate. Then the next 15 years, this will be the interest rate. Then the next 20 years after the 30-year mark, okay, the interest rate may increase exponentially. Hell, that incentivizes people to pay that house off faster or sell it to someone else where the clock can start over. So you have an option when you're approaching 30 years. Either sell, continue to pay, or pay it off.
But if the house value does not appreciate,
you said, but you didn't even think about nothing I said. You
no, Brandon, like you're just
saying
interrupting
if
me,
you're saying
you're not paying off the principal until the 30-year
your
mark.
House is building up equity, and
you're
can
not,
always make payments.
His plan clearly says across the 50-year mortgage, you're not going to be paying off your principal balance until you're 30. Which means for 30 years, all you're paying is the bank.
But can you pay extra towards the principal? You don't know. You don't know, because even when you buy a home now, you can make payments towards the principal while paying interest.
And you're going to do that for 30 years.
There are people
on a 50-year mortgage.
There are people. I know somebody who wanted a car that was $70,000. They saved up 2 years and bought the car for $70,000. I didn't think they was making that kind of money, but that's what they did. And the whole time, the housing market fluctuates up and down, up and down, up and down. It's not just a stable thing, but that's something that people need to start trying to negotiate, things that could be added on. He is just giving you an option. You don't have to take the option. I don't understand why an option is so bad. You don't have to take the option.
Yep.
Right now, you could buy. Listen, let me give you this example. The housing market is in shambles, right? I'm looking at houses in the Midwest right now. They got houses for $150,000 damn dollars. 4-bedroom, 1-bathroom, fully remodeled homes. There's always options. People just like to take a stubborn stance and wait for everybody to fix it to their preference. You better start moving around. If somebody could leave their country to come to this one, you could leave your state to go to a state where you could afford a house.
Yeah. No, and I know I'm gonna leave, but the last thing I wanted to touch on was, and this is just a piece of advice I got from a police officer that I hope you consider. Don't be so hell-bent on partisanship, because we're all Americans at the end of the day. You can't just blindly follow one person or one ideologue and think they're always going to be right, because they're not the people that like care about you at all. And also, my biggest criticism.
Wait. When did this channel ever give the impression that we thought politicians cared about us? I tell people all the time, politicians don't know you and they don't give a damn about you. Your job is to use whatever they do in a way that benefits you.
And also push back and be critical of Trump, even as a Trump voter. But the last thing is just like, this guy was in office for 4 years. This is his second term. The biggest thing that pisses me off is he doesn't think stuff through, and he always chickens out. The tariffs, for example, we're about a month away from us having to pay back the tariffs that we were able to get from importers back to the other countries, because the Supreme Court might rule against us. If our retard just talked with Congress, our senators and House of Representatives back in March or April, and rolled it out as a bill instead of just declaring the order on April 1st, then maybe we would not be in this position today in November 2025.
I think that the deals that Trump made by using tariffs as leverage. I think they were absolutely necessary, because if you wouldn't have done that, there was no reason for these other countries to adjust the current agreements that were made by the Democrats, which basically sold us out to other countries. What I'm going to tell you is I don't think there's any way in hell the Supreme Court is going to rule that we got to pay those countries this money back. On top of that, all I'm telling everybody is this, because you don't want to know what I would do if I was in charge. Well, I would tell you, if it was up to me, I would literally make it to where we just incentivize marriage and the creation of families. That would settle a lot of problems right there, because a lot of the things that people are saying are unaffordable are only unaffordable because everybody is trying to live the single life and say, yeah, I don't need nobody, I'm gonna do it myself. Even back in the day when your grandpa was making $4 an hour at his job or $2 an hour, a lot of what made stuff more affordable was the fact that he was married and he would get those tax incentives, those tax breaks and all that stuff. And then when women worked in the entered the workforce, the woman working gave you a second source of income, and the married people usually tended to do better than the people who were single. Yes, a house is expensive if you're buying it by yourself. So we don't think about that type of stuff. All we think is this like individual approach. And America was made to reward people who marry and build families. So America can never be adjusted to the point where it's incentivizing singleness. That's what got us in this place. That's why you see the Arabs and the Muslims, they coming over. You see the Indians, they coming over. They're not complaining at all because they built family units, which makes everything a lot more affordable. So maybe instead of whining, waiting for everybody to adjust the world to fit you perfectly, maybe you should be doing something in the process, like finding a good woman, marrying her, having some kids, getting those tax breaks, getting that second income coming in, starting a business, getting some skills so you can get the jobs that people right now aren't able to get. What did Les Brown say? You must be willing to do the things today that others will not do to have the things tomorrow that others will not have. And that's where the immigrant is beating you. They're willing to do today what you refuse to do, and they're going to have the things tomorrow that you just aren't going to have. That's the way it works. It's never going to not be a meritocracy.
No, I do agree on that.
And people want guaranteed outcomes, and this is America. There's no guaranteed outcome anywhere in the world unless you resign to being broke as hell and you're guaranteed to fail. That's it.
Yeah, no, I do agree on that. America
a squirrel got to collect nuts, bro.
No, I do agree on that. America is the best country in the world, and thanks for the free-flowing pushback and the conversation we had. I know there's someone else that's been waiting for a while.
Yeah, Obstacles coming. Thank you so much, Pieces. I appreciate you. My brother, Obstacles.
Oh man, that was a lot to hear, bro. Jeez,
we got in our bag. It was like back in the day.
Sizzle, man. Jeez Louise, man. That's interesting. I always say, man, it's so interesting. You can almost get assassinated and people still think you're a traitor. People still think you haven't put up any work. And it's like, what have you done? I love to just turn it back on people. What have you done? You know what? Why don't you run for president? And then you make all these changes that you think is just so easy. People really believe that this stuff is easy. People really believe that this thing is happening in the corner of some island somewhere. And what I would say to you is you could probably save more children in your own community. You could save more kids that are being taken advantage of by their teachers. Those articles appear, right? Where we see the teacher exposing herself to a young kid and they say it's just a relationship. You got so much things that are in your community that needs fixing, let alone talking about what could possibly be happening in some off island distant. All right. And I kind of love what you said, Brandon. These are fully functioning grown women who went to an island with billionaires. Okay. Are we surprised that maybe some integrity was given away so that they can get some moolah? These are consenting adults to an extent. So I'm not worried about what rich folks did. I'm more so worried about what are we really saying? A guy who almost got assassinated just to be the president. That's not good enough.
Wait, Obstacles. Let me just put this. Let me put this in your pocket. Imagine what they're willing to do for $5 a month on OnlyFans. and increase that exponentially to billions.
Exponentially. Life-changing. That guy would have probably did something that he's not actually good with. Just like the guy did with P. Diddy. The guy who said, oh, I'm a victim. But when P. Diddy was piling a 15 grand check, then he did what he did. And then also, let's not even talk about, I want people to say, after the trial had came out and the evidence came out, it wasn't what people was making it out to be. They said Lady Gaga was there and Beyonce was there. And what came out? It was just two people having some crazy relationship, no different probably than your suburban household having Mandingo parties. So let's talk about how normal people are doing no different than what Diddy is doing.
Finger parties.
All types of parties, right?
Yeah. And here's the thing. Like, people in the comments, oh, it was an island with children. They don't have any proof of that. Now, I'm not saying it wasn't, because that's probably why Epstein off this self. But what I'm telling you is, can we wait till we got some evidence? Because y'all told me the same thing with Diddy, and Diddy was guilty of sin, and y'all had him dead to rights. And then when the facts start coming out, oh, and I haven't seen one person apologize to Diddy yet, man. But look, I didn't have to apologize because I didn't jump off the edge. I'm like, nah, it's usually like never what you think it is. It's always something else, right? You might think that somebody in there getting killed. You go knock on the door, they in there just having some fun sex shit. That's why you mind your business. That's why you say, look, I don't know, but if something come out that's factual, some evidence, then I could pass judgment on them. But we love passing judgment on people premature. In our community and in our society, it's turning into guilty until proven innocent, and it's supposed to be the opposite way around.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. And look, they were saying, Diddy, look at him with Justin Bieber from this video. That's evidence. Like, what? And then Justin Bieber was not in the files, was not in all that, and all the videos was had by Cassie. Diddy didn't have nothing. She had all the videos. So again, I would just say it's complete nonsense, and take it from somebody who's actually been in the trenches. This is the one thing I probably dislike about a lot of people. I was in the trenches in Thailand trying to curb human trafficking and underage children being trafficked in broad daylight. It was done here 15 years ago in broad daylight, Brandon. Yes. And now when you look at it, it's not in broad daylight. Somebody did that in today's world, they would get aired out. I was on the front lines ensuring that it didn't happen in the future. Where are you guys making all these accusations? Are you on the front line? Are you volunteering to break up these organizations and risking your life? The answer is probably no. You're throwing stones, hiding your hands, and then, of course, making people guilty before even any evidence is shown. And that's a problem. You're taking too much energy and putting it in a misdirection. So I think like a lot of this is nonsense. And as you said, it's a big nothing burger.
Hey, look, they could if they in LA, they could go right over to Figueroa or Long Beach Boulevard, where it's women getting trafficked all day and night.
Right there. Let's start there.
There are escort sites, thousands of women's getting trafficked. You can go get their number, pretend like you talking to them to get a date, go do a bust and whatever. They won't ever do that because it's just arbitrary. We just want to go after who we want to go after, but we don't care about it being done overall. There has been no president in history that has done more to combat the trafficking of humans than Donald Trump. And this is before the Epstein files was even a thing. So he's passed more bills and signed more bills into law to stop the trafficking of minors than any other president. You've done absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
But you want to take this guy out of office. So it's like that Dave Chappelle skit. He rapes but he saves, right? Now I don't know if he's raped or nothing, but it's like the he rapes but he saves thing, right? This guy is day to day empowering law enforcement, funding law enforcement to fight and combat human sex trafficking, right? The trafficking of minors, right? So we remove him from office because we don't like him, and install somebody like Biden who did absolutely nothing to stop that. We install somebody like Kamala who's going to do absolutely nothing to stop that. See, you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. But what people don't understand is you might be doing more damage than you realize because you've gotten all caught up in the witch hunt. Oh, Trump did this or Trump did that. Dude, what is the consequences of what you're doing if it comes to fruition? No one's thinking like that. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah. And I want to highlight a point that he was making that I found interesting. It's like people always say what you didn't do, but you won't say what he did do. And one of the parts when y'all were having a conversation, he was talking about like, man, some officer told me that I got to be, not to one political party or the other. And then what happens is you start criticizing everybody. Everybody's a problem. The left's the problem. The right's the problem. No one does enough for you. And it's like, wait, hold on. As you said, Biden even did this that I agree with. See, you were able to acknowledge what they haven't done, which is effective and efficient. This individual was saying everybody's corrupt. Everybody's a puppet. Nobody's even real. And it's like, where do we get with that? There's people out here doing things that are complex. It's not easy. If it's that easy, I want you to get elected, become a president, and make all these moves that you think is American first. But what do I find you doing? Being incompetent and blaming 100,000 HB1 visas for your problems and why you can't feed your family as a grown man. I say that you're bullshitting, and it's not about making America great. It's about making Americans great again. You guys suck. You are not your ancestors. You need to do better.
Hey, I'm gonna do a show at some point. It's gonna be called "Everything Sucks Because You Suck," because that's all I see. People, this sucks. It's you. It's your mindset. It's what you're doing. I want to show this because I want to just give people an idea, of what I'm talking about. And so they can see, like, okay, am I like jumping down this guy's throat? Pause. And is it premature or is it deserved? And what happens when he's gone, right? What happens when we get rid of him? Who picks up the mantle to fight the fights that he's fighting that no one has seen the need to fight for 20, 30 years? He's doing something. So I'm going right here real quick. And I simply put this in, how many bills has Trump signed to combat child trafficking? During his time in office, Donald Trump signed 9 pieces of bipartisan legislation. So there's Democrats too trying to stop it, specifically targeting human trafficking, which includes measures to combat online sex trafficking and child exploitation. Specific bills signed into law include the Allow States and Victims to Fight Online Sex Trafficking Act of 2017, which holds websites accountable for facilitating online trafficking. The Frederick Douglass Trafficking Victims Prevention and Protection Reauthorization Act of 2018, which authorized $430 million in funding for prevention, education, survivor support, and training for government officials and airline employees to identify trafficking cases. The Abolish Human Trafficking Act of 2017, which strengthened programs for survivors and enhanced resources for combating modern slavery. The Trafficking Victims of Protection Reauthorization Act, the Trafficking Victims of Protection Act of 2017, combating human trafficking and online child exploitation in the United States. That was an executive order. It sounds to me like if you wanted to traffic, you would be trying to get rid of Trump. And it sounds to me like what we have is a bunch of unwitting accomplices who are helping to get rid of Trump on behalf of the traffickers. That's what it sounds like to me. That's what it sounds like to me. It sounds like they have used the power of the media. They've used their power of programming, fear-based programming, to get you to fight for the devil against the person who is trying to put an end to this stuff. Trump didn't have to sign none of that. Trump didn't have to spend $430 million to train airline employees to notice when someone's being trafficked. He didn't have to do that. And all those people they train and provide all that money they're providing for law enforcement. He didn't have to do that. If I was trafficking, I wouldn't want to do that. I'd be like, we just gonna leave it where it's at, and no one would have noticed. But do you see the media broadcasting this stuff? Of course they don't. This is what I want CNN covering. This is what I want MSNBC covering. Hey, by the way, while we beating up on Trump, let's give him some kudos for helping to combat sex trafficking. But they're never going to tell you that because they're all complicit. Go ahead, Obstacles.
No. You were just cooking right now. They're all complicit. And look, man, this stuff is just, look, guys, there's a lot being done. It is complex. It is complicated. You can't come in office one day and solve everything in 1 year. I know you want that to happen, but it takes time to get things done and executed. If you don't believe me, then go out there and do it yourself and show us how you can do it more expeditiously. But until that point, at the end of the day, we have individuals out here in the battlefield that's getting the work done. And I think that all this big nothing burger that we've been going back and forth when Trump was trying to get TARPs done, when Trump was trying to negotiate with the future of America, people were pulling them back to the Epstein files. Why don't you release them damn files? It's like, bro, I'm up here sitting at the negotiation table with China, right, who's been exploiting us in many different ways. And I'm trying to get that. Now China's looking like, look, his people is up there arguing with him about the Epstein files. You think when Xi Jinping is actually negotiating with America, he got to worry about his citizens talking about he a pedophile, he on the Epstein file. Look, shout outs to Elon Musk. One thing I didn't agree with what he said about Trump during that time about the Epstein file, because 1 second he had his kid with Trump, next minute he was accusing him something outlandish like that. And so even you could see a lot of people are just angry and they don't know how to just correct their own life. So they want to blame Trump. They want to blame the Republicans. They want to blame bankers. And it's just getting a little bit outlandish at this point, bruv. Turn in on yourself and do work. That's what I'm seeing this as. As far as any allegations, I want to see evidence. And until that is the evidence that I see that's beyond the reason of doubt, not an allegation, I'm not trying to hear that nonsense. It has to go through the process. Allegations can go to the court and do what they need to. I'm not saying they shouldn't. Go ahead and handle that. But until we get evidence, I'm not condemning anybody. I believe in innocent until proven guilty.
That's the American way. But I believe in this too. I believe in the facts. All Trump's bad, Trump's this, Trump's that. Well, while Trump was passing legislation to combat sex trafficking of children, California state Democrats were rejecting a bill to make purchasing a child for X a felony. Ooh, vibranium. All y'all might be traffickers. Y'all might be trying to get Trump out the way so y'all could do more trafficking. Because while Trump is combating trafficking of children, the Democrats are rejecting bills that strengthen the penalties for people who, it's not even a felony. It's not even a felony. So you could traffic the kid and get out you won't even get arrested. They'll write you a ticket or you get out the same day on probation. Why would any political party block a bill that makes that a felony? No one should be doing it. It looks to me like they might just be trying to get the Trumpster out the way so their diabolical scheme can move forward. Have you ever thought about that, my army of critical thinkers? Be careful what you wish for. You might get it. I had to sing it on the obstacles. Final thoughts, my brother.
Hey, man, final thoughts is this was perfect. I think you brought more evidence than the people who are making these crazy accusations, right? It only makes sense. If we want to stop them, what's up with the rejection of the policies? What's up with the rejections of any law enforcement? What's up with you and your neighborhood? At the end of the day,
what's up with you and your kids? Do you know where your 15-year-old daughter is? It's 6:19 p.m. Do you know where your 15-year-old daughter is? Or does she walk in and out the house whenever and wherever she want to and tell you she turning her location off and then she come back pregnant? I'm telling you, man,
talk about it.
This community is so avid in the fight against sex trafficking, but all the black girls are on Figueroa. Damn, two things can be true, I guess. But when I drive down that street, I see black asses in thongs and half naked out there. Y'all fighting Trump. Y'all need to be going down the street.
Mm-hmm.
But they vote for Gavin Newsom, the dude who sits up and decriminalizes all that, so you can't do nothing about it.
And then you got to deal with this if they want to be helped the way you want to help them.
That as well. That as well.
It's a complex thing, and I don't think it's easy as sitting on a laptop and a cell phone, QB and Israel relationships in Palestine. And wait, this is what I definitely want to do. You see, 1 minute it was Palestine, it was tariffs, it was H-1B visas, it was building out jobs in North Carolina or South Carolina. It's like, bro, I was just saying the other day to one of my ladies, I was like, bro, it's ridiculous. People want leaders to do so much. They want them to fix the price of avocados, bread, toast, you can name it. They just anything, engines, cars, tariffs, wars, like every single issue in the whole galaxy. Now I want a better education system. I want healthcare. I want the food not to have these chemicals in it. And it's like you're asking one person to do all this for you, right? I'm the president. I got to fix the price of avocados after coming from China and then saving the penguins and the indigenous albino snow monkeys. It's like, it's ridiculous the amount of tasks we put on other people to conduct on our behalf. And what are we doing? Overweight, eating Cheetos, can't even feed our own family, financially illiterate, and mad that someone extended a 50-year mortgage to give us a better position to actually be able to have more options, not force us to make a 40-year mortgage or 50-year mortgage, but just provide it as an option. We're mad at that. Diabolical people, not the leaders. That's what I would say.
Hey, fam, we see people, right? There are people right now who can't qualify for a home loan, have the money, but their credit is trash, right? The 50-year mortgage opens up the market to people who might their credit might be crap, but guess what? They have the money and they're willing to take the risk. They could pay that house off in 3 years. Some people get money in waves, and then be broke. But the whole point is the option is there for someone who wants to take it. You don't have to take it. You don't have to take it. We sat up and was cool with the predatory lending under George W. Bush and under Barack Obama. We just accepted that when everybody auntie was getting a new house and then getting foreclosed on. We ate that. We didn't call it out at all. But now this is a problem. It's only a problem because Trump thought of it. That's it. So I realize that now.
That's it.
Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you hopping up.
No problem. No problem. Hey, Brandon, also, just before I bounce, also, too, I just wanted to say this. 5 years ago, the Turkish lira to the US dollar was 14 cents. Now, today, it is 2 cents. So when people say our money sucks, you haven't even seen a country where you see their money devalue. USD is one of the most powerful dollars. The only people who say that is dumb Americans.
Yes.
When other people have crashes of their economy across the world, they run to transfer their money into the US dollar. In Puerto Rico, from South America to Asia, everybody does it in a market crisis. Because why? The dollar is stable to them, and they believe it will hold its power and value. Shout outs to you, Brandon.
Hey, tell them where they can follow you.
Hey, don't follow me. Follow Brandon. I ain't on these YouTube streets. I ain't trying to help no normies no more.
Look,
so follow Brandon.
Y'all getting blessings because of me, bro. Hey, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you so much.
No problem. Shout out to you, Brandon.
Peace, bro. Hey, man, listen. All I'm telling you is sitting up complaining. Listen. Those who can, they do, right? Haters gonna hate, ain'ters gonna ain't, right? That's what they say. I'm not trying to hate, ain't none of that. I'm trying to drop these little jewels on you, encourage you to critically think about these things, whether you're in favor of them or not. Stop trying to guess what everybody else think about something. Focus on what you think about it. So then when they tell you what they think about it, then you could give them some information that might either change the way they think about it or it might fortify them in their position on it. That's the best way to operate. But if you ain't thinking and they ain't thinking and y'all just trying to feel y'all way through shit like a blind man in the dark, it's probably not going to turn out good for either party involved. I'm just saying, right? No one's scared to answer any question. Well, there's people killing. Oh, yeah, you asked the question, do I support the destruction of Gaza and Palestine? I don't support the destruction of any country. So I don't support the destruction of Gaza and Palestine. I don't support the destruction of Israel. I don't support the destruction of Iran or any other country. But if people have a quarrel about something, what I'm going to do is say, hey, that's not really my business. What I think is, don't pick a fight with somebody unless you're sure unless you have a good chance of winning, right? That's just natural law, right? A gopher don't pick a fight with a tiger. He doesn't have any chance of winning. He runs and he hides and he keeps quiet until maybe one day gophers evolve to be the sizes of tigers. But what I think is, there was a lot of stuff going on in Gaza that shouldn't have been going on. There was a lot of people there who were willing to agitate Israel, and everybody knew exactly what was going to happen. There's all types of evidence that says Israel might be complicit in what happened over there in Gaza. I don't really know, but I'm glad that people, as far as I know, are not dying at the numbers they were. And I hope that, the people that they have put in charge of managing that situation, I wish them luck. God bless them. And I hope they operate in good faith. And what else I know is Biden sat up. He let it happen. He did nothing about it. Donald Trump got in. He got something done. He stopped the nonsense thus far. And we are the beneficiaries of that because we don't got to watch the bodies of little children being pulled from the rubble. When I get a win, I take the win. And then I keep working. I don't expect anything to be done with the flip of the switch or the snap of somebody's fingers. That's just not the way the world works. And as long as you think the world works like that, you're going to be disappointed a lot. So you might as well strap in your safety belt. If you want a free Palestine, they're going to have to do the work to get to that point. But I think they said something about if, they keep the terrorists and stuff from taking over, there's a path to a Palestinian state. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I'll donate to it if that's what they need. However I could impact it. But the question is, will you? A lot of people they think the only thing necessary is lip service. Lip service it gets you so far, but at the end of the day, you need dollars and cents. I'm going to tell you like your daddy didn't tell you. At the end of the day, money makes the world go round. And there's a bunch of rich Arabs with billions and trillions of dollars. And I think if they really wanted a Palestinian state, they have the money to purchase one. That's the difference, I think, between the Jews and the Arabs. The Jews put their money where their mouth is. The Arabs hoard the money and they live in shameless excess while everyone around them is living in squalor. Now that does too happen in the Arab Muslim places as well, but they build too. And seemingly their people are okay with that. But yeah, it's not really our business. I hope that we get to a point where we're not giving these people any money. But if we must, then we just got to do what we got to do. And that's the best I could give you on that. Thank you so much for watching this. I appreciate everything you do for this channel. Shout out to my brother Sticks and Stones LA for the 2 donations. Keep putting out the real content, bro. 100. Thank you so much, brother, for the $5 holler and the other $5 holler. Facts, bro. He stays supporting us. We're praying for the day when everybody supports the channel, kicks down a little, shoots a little bell to this channel just to keep us up and running. Let me see if anybody put anything in the Cash App, because 2 people hit the Cash App yesterday. Shout out to my boy. What is damn? Tiny Turney Tyke, my boy Hakeem. Shout out to him for the $15 holler in the Cash App yesterday. Let me see. I'm on Cash App today. Oh, shout out to my boy Costa Zulu. Shout out to my boy for the $10 holler in the Cash App. I appreciate that so much. Thank all y'all for watching, though. Thank all y'all for watching. We'll probably be back tomorrow. What do you guys think? Give me a 1 in the comments if you think I should do another live tomorrow. Or should I just let this one matriculate? We're doing pretty good in the analytics department. Y'all think a live tomorrow, 4 o'clock would be good? What's tomorrow? Today's Friday. Tomorrow's Saturday. I'll be free tomorrow. All right, we cracking tomorrow? All right, we cracking tomorrow. Well, you know, it's Saturday. We might go a little bit earlier. Or maybe we'll just do 4 again just to keep it consistent. So, yeah. Let's do that. Thank y'all for watching this. Until the next time, take care of yourselves, but most importantly, please take care of each other.